Hello guys, my name is Khan and in today's video we will discuss about data source filters in Tableau. And after discussing data source filters, we will also discuss about how many different kinds of filters we have in Tableau, and then we will quickly go through the different ways in which you can apply filters into Tableau. We have discussed already the normal filters and interactive filters in my previous videos, but we will also discuss some other forms of filters which are available in Tableau too. But initially, we will discuss data source filters in this video. So for this video, I will be using this datasets, which is US Census. I will open this dataset for you. So this is the data that we will be using. We are just considering one country in USA, and each row is representing a state of a USA. As you can see, we have about 50 states in this data. Then we have the short abbreviation of state variable, and then we have some demographic variables like population, marriage and divorce. And then we also have a region variable, which we will be using a lot in this video. Actually, this region variable is dividing the data into four segments: south, west, northeast, and north central. So this is the data that we will be using. So now what I will do, I will import the data into Tableau. As I mentioned earlier too, that in order to work in Tableau, you have to import the data into Tableau, and then you create your visualization. And the last third step you share your visuals with the audience. My data is in the Excel, so I will select this option, Microsoft Excel. This is the data set that I have shown you guys. I will be using this open. As you can see, the data got imported successfully. So in order to discuss the data source filters, what I will do, I will first create quick visuals for you. So suppose if I will create a map, then I will create states. So you can see it here that Tableau have plotted all the states on the map. So make it a bit more interesting, I will drag this population variable over the size. So now the size of these marks is also giving us information about the population within that state. In the same way, I will create another very simple graph like region. And so I will add region to my columns and then add population. So I will want to see how much is the population in each region. So now it seems everything looks good. But suppose if you want that you are not interested in north central region, and you don't want that north central region appears in your sheets, in all sheets. Where I'm emphasizing again, if you don't want northeast in all of your sheets, north central in all of your sheet, how you can do. So the one way, which is that you drag this region variable here, and then you just don't, let's say, don't select north central, apply, okay. But here you can see that my filter is just applicable to this sheet. And again, if you come to this sheet too, the north central is still there. And you can apply the same filter here again. But here we just have two sheets. But suppose if you have 10, 20 sheets, then it will become really cumbersome to apply the filter to each sheet one by one. The more quick way is that I will just remove this filter from here. The more quick way is that if you go to this data set and you apply the filter at a data source level. So I will say edit data source filter, and here you can see there is no filter available. So I will say add, and here I will go to my region, okay, and then I will say include all, but I don't want north central, so I will uncheck it and I will say okay. So now you can see north central is not shown here, but this filter is not applicable only in sheet 1. This filter is also applicable in sheet 2, and it will be applicable to all of the sheets that you have constructed that filter. But here the point to note here is that the filter is not visible here. This because this filter is more applied on a data source level, not at a sheet level. Here, the filters that you see in under the sheets and in the filter shelves are the sheet level filters, whereas the filters that we have applied is the data source filter. In the data source filter, you can apply multiple filters too. If I go back to my this sheet, and if I go to edit data source filter, suppose if I want to add another filter, but this time I would like to add a filter at a state level. Okay, so I will select all, but suppose if I don't want the Alaska to be shown too, I just want to, okay, you can see now I have two filters here at a region level, and then at a state level I'm excluding Alaska here, and I say okay, and now you can see my graph got updated, and I'm not seeing Alaska 2 here, and this graph also get updated, but here it's a region level because that's why you don't able to see much impact here. But here you can see we have two filters at a data source level. One is by region. We are not considering North Central, and then we are also not considering Alaska. That's why Alaska is not shown in this map. Again, if you want to remove this filter, and it's a very good thing that suppose if you are working on a Tableau workbook, and suppose if someone have already worked and then you start working on that workbook, make sure that you just give a quick check that that your previous user have done any data source level filters or not, because it may impact your result, because you may thought that you are considering the whole data, but there are some filters at a data source level. So again, if you go back to this data source, right click it, and then go to edit source filter. Here you can see that these are the filters that I'm applying. But suppose if I don't want to apply those filters, so I can just simply select remove it, and then I can also simply select. So suppose I don't want the filter at the state level, at the region level, but I'm happy with this state level filter. So now I have North Central back, but still Alaska is not there. And you can see North Central is back, and Alaska is not considered under these calculations for this graph. So let's go to sheet 3, and now we have finished discussing the data source filter, and now I will start discussing different kind of filters available, and I will quickly go through filtering option available. I have again, what I will do, I will go to sheet 1, and here I will show if you want to add a filter in Tableau, how you can do. You can just simply drag those variable here, and then you can select, suppose if I am not interested in the west region, apply. Okay, so this is the normal filter that we have already discussed, and this is one of the way. And the other way is to have it, make it an interactive filter. So if I just click this down arrow button and I'll say show filters, now it turn into be a interactive filters, and now your end audience or the final viewers with which you will share this database share this dashboard will be able to interact with these graphs too. So as you can see it back here, that if I change different option, my graphs will keeps on updating according to that option that I have opted. So these are the two things that we have already covered in our previous videos too, normal filters and interactive filters. But in sheet 3 I will quickly cover, there are two other ways in which you can also filter. One is the headers, and the second is the legend. So first I will discuss headers. So let's see if I plot again a very simple graph. So here, and if I just want to change the representation of this graph by using swapping the rows and the column. So here you can see that I have North Central, North East, South. But suppose I just want to compare North Central and the West. So I'm just giving examples. So I will just click it. So this way of filtering is you can say is headers filter. So you just click the header which you want, and then you click the other header, and there is an option keep only these two. So now I can easily able to compare north central with the west region, and when I did that, an automatic filter got added here. So this way of filtering is known as headers filtering. And another way of filtering which I will like to show is through legends. Through legends you can also do filtering. So let's say if I add my region variable under columns, and then I also add population in my rows, but I like to see it at a state level. So what I will do, I want to add the state and the colors, and it's saying that it want to add a lot of legends. And so I'm just giving an example. So I will say add all members. So you can see different colors are representing that what is the size of the population within that state. And suppose if I am not interested in Alabama, so I will just click it. I will say exclude it. When I did that, there is an automatically filter got added at the state level. In the same way, I can suppose if I also don't want to see New York, I will say exclude it. So I also have excluded the second state too. In the same way, I can also exclude Kansas too. So in this way, now what I am doing, I am applying the filters based through the help of the legends, whereas previously I have applied the filter based on the headers. So let's see in this thing, when we have applied filter based on the legend, you can even also do filtering based on the headers too. So suppose if I control it, I say exclude, and now you can see I have two filters. I'm filtering the data based on state, and I'm also filtering the data based on the regions too. So in the end, I will just quickly tell you that we initially covered data source filtering in this video, and the good thing about data source filtering is that those filters will be applicable to all of the sheets within that workbook, which is a good thing, so that you don't have to apply that filters again and again. And after that, we discuss that what are the different forms of filtering options available in Tableau. One is the normal filters, then interactive filters, and then we also covered headers filters and how you can filter the data through legends. And that's all about for today's video. Thank you for watching the video.